Welcome to The Real, Episode 7, My God is an Awful God. I sat in Sunday school class several months ago and heard the teacher say, and I paraphrase, I don't want my salvation to focus on going to hell, but God's love. To which, in my mind, of course, was the all too familiar response, What? Now, what does this flashback have to do with anything, you ask? Well, lately, I've had that song, Awesome God, rolling around in my head. You know the one? Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. You know, that one. The two thoughts remind me that, as Christians, we're kind of schizophrenic. On one hand, we want an all-loving and all-powerful God, but not exactly the one we should, fear. But is that the God of the Bible? Let's look into the scriptures for just a minute in hopes of finding a cure for what ails us. See, I grew up in church fearing God. You know, like it says in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Now, folk like that Sunday school teacher, and the sort of others who portray God as chocolate chip cookies straight out of the oven love, would see fear as reverence or respect. Newsflash, you know what the Greek interpretation of the Hebrew word for fear, yarat, means? Dreadful, exceeding fearfulness. We're going to have a little Greek week on words in the Bible, but that's a rant for another day. Folks, we have a God to whom we owe our terror, our fear, our awe. Yeah, awe. You know, as the archaic definition from Merriam-Webster, dread, terror, that's what awe used to mean. So in the Bible, when it says in Psalm chapter 47, verse 2, that God is terrible, what exactly does that mean? Capable of terror. Yeah, that's right, sports fans. Fear God. Because you know what happens when you don't? You end up like those described in Romans chapter 3. Those who don't know God, don't want to know God, and do their own thing. For those folk, as it states in verse 18, there is no fear of God before their eyes. Without a healthy dose of let me move away from this guy before a lightning bolt comes down and fries us both, we lean more and more on the love and mercy and grace of God. Kind of like Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Are we to continue in sin that grace may abound? People tend to focus on the love of God instead of his power. Case in point, Romans chapter 2, verse 4. Don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? Does this mean nothing to you? Can't you see that his kindness is intended to turn you from your sin? Nah, we can't see God's judgment through all his love. Listen up now. God will love you straight to hell. Ever heard Romans chapter 9, verse 22? Even though God has the right to show his anger and his power, he is very patient with those on whom his anger falls, who are destined for destruction. Destined for destruction, as in he gets fed up, strikes you dead, and ships your useless carcass to hell. Bottom line, that's the God you might want to keep an eye on. You know, the one in the Bible, the one deserving of our awe. I don't know about you, but my God does not merely deserve some awe. He deserves the fullness of it. I know it's unwanted, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, it's real. Welcome to The Real. Until next time, ever forward.